We're at Go AZ Motorcycles today. I'm having a little warranty service done on the Tiger. My friend Nathan's taking care of me, and we're going to take something else for a ride. Well, Nathan's bringing me up my bike for the next couple hours. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
No problem.
I'll see you in a couple hours. Hopefully it'll be in one piece.
Yeah.
Ducati Strada 1200S. Let's go for a ride. Very interesting. I'll pop up some horsepower and torque statistics somewhere on your viewing screen. One thing I note, the clutch lets out way out. I'm certain there's some type of an adjustment for that, but having a little dialing in session here. Okay, so just real quick, I just figured out the little video game you have to play to get here. Everything is done with this little toggle here, up and down, and then you got enter. Your modes are over here, and right now I got it in sport mode, 150 horsepower. See how that changes things, and it's a total setup. So you've got mapping and suspension setup all in one, from what I understand. I think you could probably customize one of these modes. Dash is really nice. Your idiot lights are up here, talk, speedometer, everything's big enough for an old fart like me to read everything, which is kind of uncommon. So let's get on the road and give her a shot. So it's 4 modes: sport, touring, urban, and enduro. And this ain't your average mom jeans adventure bike for sure. This thing's got some snap to it at 150 horsepower. But it's super comfy. Ergonomics are pretty nice, and unlike a average adventure bike where your feet are kind of under your knees, my feet are back behind my knees. So I've not found a quick, easy way to adjust the clutch lever. It's not like Japanese bikes, or there's no knob on the top, and there's no quick adjustment like you do have on cable operated bikes. So something's going on there, but I definitely would have to adjust the clutch. Shouldn't be a big deal, but man, it rides real nice, and I really wouldn't, it's a very tight bike. It's more, has has a real street sport bike feel to it, almost like a Super Duke kind of feel. The rims on it are definitely very sport bikey. I'll throw that info up. But I would say this thing could handle the gravel road real nice. I have seen video on the internet of guys taking these over jumps and stuff, but the motor has a very distinct feel. It's a very Ducati feel. It sure is in a hurry to get someplace, but it doesn't feel like it. It has a very lopey, pleasant, almost, and I hate to say this, Harley-esque kind of feel to it, but you're going at an aggravated pace. Very interesting, very, very interesting. It's very hard to get the culture of a bike, and I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but being able to understand how the bike operates in a short ride. It's like you get on your bike and you don't even have to look, you just kind of boop boop boop, and you're going to do, you know, mode changes and stuff like that. So it's difficult to say the ease of use in the electronics, but they're fairly easy, and with just a pick it out type of menu, you're not having to, you know, shut this off or that off. I'm assuming you can customize one of these settings. I don't see a custom or rider selection where maybe you could shut ABS off or off-road, or traction control off or off-road, that kind of stuff. And I'm not certain what Enduro would do for you, but those are usually still on track and ABS, just in a diminished, less intrusive type of thing on most bikes. It's almost 100 degrees, and I do have to say that there's very little heat rejection coming off the bike. I do have motorcycle boots on, but I got normal, regular, everyday jeans on, and with a lot of open-fared bikes at this temperature and this in-town type of riding, my lower legs would be burning right now, and I can't say that I have that going on. I don't know why, but I've got a hankering for some antipasto and a nice Chianti. Well, we're at University of Phoenix Stadium. This is where the Cardinals play, the NFL Arizona Cardinals play. I thought a good place to just do a walk around on a red bike that looks very much like a bird. I think the bike looks fantastic. It's a real nice looking bike. This is the S version. It's more of a street orientated or sport orientated version. 17-inch wheels, still has crash guard protection, has the factory kind of skid plate, does have a center stand, so it's very adventure bike-esque. Real nice tie-down rack. The seat is firm but comfortable. I really got to say, I really like the seat. The ergonomics of it really work pretty well for the bike that it is. I probably With the ergonomics, with your feet more towards the rear position, you're probably not going to want to get too crazy off-road with it. LED indicators in the hand guards, so that kind of would preclude you from putting on any tougher type of handguard protection. LED headlights, there's driving lights. It's got a real nice sound to it. Carbon fiber, aftermarket exhaust from Termigon. I don't know. I don't get into some of these fancy exhausts. I'm pretty cheap, but it's got a real nice sound with that exhaust on it. Not too loud. Gives you plenty of rumble. The fuel injection works really well off throttle. The bike works really well. It's a real nice bike. I can't say that it's got that punch or real super fun factor to it, but for a sport touring bike that you wanted to break off onto a gravel road or do some forest roads or things like that, this would be really nice. It's an adventure bike, but it's got a lot of sport qualities to it, and you just can't beat Ducati Red. This looks like an aftermarket screen. For me, if you've watched my videos before, I'm not a big fan of super huge windscreens, but it does block enough, and it seems to be all right. The suspension, as I mentioned before, is electronically adjustable. There's 4 riding modes. I don't see a custom mode. I would assume that there is one somewhere. Everything is managed through an up and down and select, but your usual horn, directionals, flip to pass. But she's a real nice bike. I really, if I was going to move away from dirt orientated riding a little bit more, but still wanted to keep something that I could do some mellow stuff on, this would be it. I mean, it's got the requisite Brembo brakes. It's got the single-sided swing arm. I mean, it's a 1200. I mean, you could easily do some really nice touring on this. Got a big pillion for your passenger. Looks like you could probably, by the looks of this, you probably could put some type of rear box on there. Looks like there's a clamp back there for that. So yeah, I really like this thing. So let's go ride it a little more. This bike sounds awesome. Yeah, just when I was waiting for this bike to get prepped for me to take out, I had walked by and studied a little bit the KTM 1290 Adventure S. It would be the more streetable KTM 1290 Adventure version, less off-roady, and it would be very much in line with this bike. I would say if you are of the stature challenged segment of the population, you would probably be better suited to this Ducati, which the seat elevation is much closer to the ground than the KTM. The KTM was much closer to the Adventure R version, the more off-road version than the S. So I would definitely shade this way if your inseam is short, and you probably have both options if you're a little bit taller. However, If you have really long legs, I would say if your inseam is probably more than 34 inches to 36 inches, you're probably going to be wanting to go more the KTM route because of the folded up nature of your legs on this bike. I think it would probably get cramped over a long period of time for touring or whatever. I don't get the impression that this bike would be very comfortable to stand up on. It has definitely a more street-worthy version of ergonomics. We're gonna jump on Highway D-Loop 101 and mess around out there at highway speed. One quick transmission note, very smooth. The gears are all usable 1 through 6, very smooth shifting. One other note, before purchasing a premium vehicle, especially if you've not owned one before, I would personally check out all of the required maintenance intervals and price those out to see what they cost, and make sure that that is part of your ownership budget, because these maintenance requirements, especially if you cannot fulfill them yourself, are very important to the health of your motorcycle, and not having huge repair bills when something goes wrong. And even if you do have the mechanical skills to perform the maintenance, a lot of times the tools and required software and electronics are not available to you. So just make sure that those things are in your budget. Well, thanks GoAZ for a loaner bike. 1200 Ducati Multistrada S. If you're looking for one, head down to GoAZ Motorcycles. They can probably fix you up with one. I am not affiliated with GoAZ Motorcycles. I appreciate you watching. Please comment, subscribe, like, and share. Adios.